This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Last time on the Gregg and Dave Show.
I did not, Dave Show. And I'm plugging in my battery right now because it's being dead. So can we pause 1 second?
We could. And while the Greg plugs his battery in, I hope he also plugs in the battery that's in his computer, as his computer might need battery recharging as well. The Greg, by the way, is cybernetic in nature. It does have several batteries. And if one of them gives out, there are backups in place, just in the event that would be needed. But nonetheless, good idea to keep them all charged. And you're back.
We good.
Okay, have you run your pre-speech checks?
Yes.
Okay, very good. It's time for the Gregg and Dave Show.
Give it a proper name and we'll work it. Give it a stupid name and it can stay at the ship.
Featuring Greg Watsteiner.
I sound like a dead horse.
And David Bobkey.
I glued my head inside a toilet.
Bravely bringing you the stories of the strange.
And she had a spasmodic contraction of her hand.
As soon as we get the flux capacitor up and running again, we're going to make that happen.
Dave Show, I have to stop you here.
Now sit back and enjoy the show.
That is my least favorite thing to do.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Gregg and Dave Show, presented by Public House Media. I'm definitely the Greg.
And I am Dave Show.
Oh my gosh, wow. Dave Show, are you some sort of weird-sounding animal or something? Like weird-sounding tiger?
I'm definitely weird sounding. I don't know about anything beyond that, but you'll see why I did that later, folks.
Weird smelling.
That's for sure.
Weird smelling, too. Anyway, we won't go there.
Too late.
Anyway, we are presented, as always, by the fine folks at Public House Media. Dave Show, where can they find all the great content from Public House Media, including 2 or 3 new shows that just launched this week?
They can go to thephmedia.com or thefuhmedia.com, which I say into my new pop filter.
Or Thef Media.
That's right. Thef Media.
Right. You can do that. Dave Show, on this show, we like to be helpful. And this first story is very helpful to our listeners, and it's also about food, which Dave Show and I enjoy good food. Is this correct, sir?
That is correct, sir. I'm still deciding whether I agree that we like to be helpful. I think you like to be helpful. I think Mrs. Bale likes to be helpful. I like to be obstructive whenever possible.
Yeah, that's right. It is you who put a hole in the wall a few weeks back.
I did kind of knock down a couple of walls by accident. You know what? It wasn't me. It was Big Jim Slade and look. I don't have to defend myself to anybody. Okay.
So anyway, this first story takes us to Italy, Dave Show.
It could very well take us to Italy, the Greg. This here story from CBSNews.com, and it saith here unto us, Ferrero, Nutella maker, ears perked up right there, I could hear them.
Yes,
is hiring 60, count them, 60 taste testers. Is there anything people won't do for Nutella? We'll start off with that, Greg. Is there anything you won't do for a Nutella?
You know, my diabetic ears did perk up when you said that. However, I don't think this would be a good job for me. I don't even know if I like Nutella all that much.
Interesting. To be honest, I think I would eat a Klondike bar for some Nutella.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I'm not actually sure I've ever had Nutella, come to think of it, but...
Have you ever had a Klondike bar, Dave Show?
Oh, yes, I've had many Klondike bars. I once punched a man in the face for a Klondike bar.
That's not a true story.
That is not a true story, no.
Dramatization may not have happened.
That is a fib, and I have been called out. Mrs. Bale, do we have any fibber music? There we go. Just call me Fibber McGee, which I guess makes you Molly.
What is this, polka music or something?
I don't know what this is. What was that? Mrs. Bale's not going to tell us. It's just, she's got this extensive library of sound effects and music, and I don't know where any of it comes from. But I digress. The story continues on. The chocolate hazelnut spread that boasts 100 calories per spoonful has inspired supermarket riots. It's ruined an athlete's career and even caused some temporary parental insanity. And they have links to these stories, so people can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Gregg Dave Show, and they can find this article and link to those other articles right there. It's sort of like those nesting Russian doll things.
Yeah. Do you feel like, Dave Show? I don't feel like anymore that Nutella is all the rage. I feel like this author may be writing this article in a dramatic way to get some sort of dramatic effect that really isn't there.
You know what I think I hear is all the rage nowadays?
What?
You ever hear of ketchup? Incredible. Incredible stuff.
Nutella or ketchup? I choose Nutella.
I'm going to go with ketchup.
What about Nutella flavored ketchup?
Ooh. Well, that's just kinky, Greg. That is just kinky.
We may be onto something, Dave Show.
Yes.
We may be onto something.
We'll talk about that more on the Gregg and Dave Show After Hours.
Hey, this podcast isn't making us any money. Maybe the ketchup invention will.
There you go. Well, I'm game for it if you are. So, I'm going to read the rest of this story at some point, folks. But
okay.
It's just not going to be right now. No. It says there's been these crazy things that have happened in some way because of Nutella. Now its parent company is looking for applicants ready to drop everything and spend the next 3 months shoveling delicious calories into their gullets. We mean taste testing. Yes.
Right.
You did. It says here, Ferrero, which makes Nutella and other goodies like Ferrero Rocher chocolates, has posted an ad for 60 non-professionals to use various products. Because it's looking for regular customers, no experience is needed to be a sensory judge, as the company's ad describes the gig. The only requirements are that tasters have no food allergies and be able to use a computer, reports The Local, an English-language outlet based in Italy.
By the way, those two things are unrelated to each other. I would just like to, food allergies and the use of a computer are totally unrelated to each other.
Yes, they better not have computer allergies.
Right. Yeah, if you're allergic to computers, well then I think you're sunk on this one.
Yeah, don't have a computer virus.
Yep.
There we go. Yep, okay. According to The Local, it's the first time the company is specifically looking for non-professionals. There is one catch. The chosen ones must be ready to move to Ferrero's Italian headquarters in Alba. The town in the Piedmont region of Italy is known as the white truffle capital of the world. That sounds delicious.
Are they paying for me to move there, or am I moving there on my own dime?
Well, Greg, I'm glad you asked. It goes on to read, the 60 will take a paid 3-month course starting in September to help them hone their sense of smell and taste and learn terminology to describe the flavors they're tasting. Those who pass the course will be employed on a long-term part-time contract starting at 2 hours per week. Can you imagine that? You get paid for 2 hours of work per week eating.
There you go.
I get the feeling you're going to need to take up another job somewhere.
Right.
To kind of take care of things.
A janitor or something.
There you
Janitor of a church in Italy. Do you know how many churches there are in Rome alone? Dave Show.
Oh, golly. At last count?
A lot of them.
A lot of them, yeah.
Let me just save you time and say a lot of them. And do you know how hard those churches are? I visited Italy in 2000. I was in Rome. I was in Assisi. I'm not trying to brag or anything. As a matter of fact, Dave Show, do you know what my favorite food was when I went to Italy? It wasn't surprisingly the pasta. It wasn't the cheese.
It wasn't the Nutella.
It wasn't the Nutella. It wasn't the wine. It was the watermelon. The watermelon in Italy just tastes sweeter, Dave Show.
Interesting. I will make sure that I make a note next time I go to Italy, which could be any day now, that I will have to try watermelon in Italy. I do appreciate a good watermelon.
I as well.
Watermelon, good stuff, especially if you're going to a Gallagher concert. You want to go see Gallagher, and he's got that Sledge-O-Matic. That's, as far as I know, still the big closer is smashing watermelons at the end of the show.
I wonder if Gallagher has ever performed in Italy.
Ooh, interesting.
Now you've got me thinking, Dave Show.
Well, that's not good. You know who loves to tour in Italy are bands.
Bands, yes. And we're going to have that story after. We're going to keep you waiting, folks. After a commercial break.
Oh, snap. Wait after the commercial. That chapter 1 story.
You are listening to the Gregg and Dave Show on Public House Media.
And it's your own fault.
After these messages,
The Gregg and Dave Show.
be right back.
Hey, Dave Show, did you know we have merchandise?
I sure did, the Greg, and it's available right now at pubhousemedia.storenvy.com.
Yes, we do. We have lots of merch in our Public House Media store. What can they buy, Dave Show?
Well, by golly, the Greg, there's various kinds of shirts. You got hoodies, because the Greg, as you will know, we live in Wisconsin, and hoodie season is just months away.
I wore a hoodie tonight, Dave Show.
Did you?
But it wasn't a Gregg and Dave Show hoodie.
You heathen!
I know. I wore it to a really awesome fireworks display that I attended right before recording the show. But anyway, if you want a Gregg and Dave Show hoodie or a shirt or whatever else we've got in that there store, go check out our Facebook page at Gregg and Dave Show. That's Greg with 3 G's and Dave Show spelled correctly, of course, because on the Gregg and Dave Show we spell everything correctly. And buy some MERCH from us.
Yeah. Well, you know what? People should buy our merch so that we have money to buy a couch for Mrs. Bale. How's that?
Right.
There we go.
Help Mrs. Bale out, people. That's what this is all about.
Here's your weekly reminder to check out Incompetech.com, where Kevin MacLeod has got awesome songs for all your YouTube, all your podcast needs, anything of that nature. Songs you're hearing on today's show are Deuces and Manic Polka.
The only thing we have to fear is
The Gregg and Dave Show.
And welcome back.
Yeah!
This is the Gregg and Dave Show. Were we just talking about watermelons in Italy
We sure were.
and Gallagher?
Yeah. Good old Gallagher.
And bands.
Yes, bands. Good old bands.
Dave Joe, have you ever been in a band?
No. I am what they call not musically talented.
Do you think you'll ever be in a band? Maybe when you're like, I don't know, some age?
No, I don't think so. I think if I ever learn to play an instrument, I'm keeping it to myself.
Do you know that I promote a lot of local bands and local music here in the Milwaukee area of Wisconsin? And one band everybody should check out on Facebook is a band called the Hitmen. They're a great group of individuals, and they rock it out from what I've heard. They had some gigs here at the local state fair, and they have gigs at other places, so check them out on Facebook. Again, the Hitmen.
Yes, it's good to have gigs. It's good to have gigs at places.
Yes.
I hear that's very good for the career.
Yes.
Well, the Gregg, we should talk about another band, if you don't mind.
Okay, let's talk about a band, Dave Show.
There's a band that, the fans are just rabid for this group. They are, how else could I put it? They're rabid. They are slowly scuffling their feet in droves to see this band. That's how excited they are.
Did I mention that I love talking about bands, by the way, Dave Show?
A little bit, yes.
Bands are love what I do.
Yes. You do them, and you do them well.
Yes.
Are we, Mrs. Bale, are we allowed to say that? Not when I say it. Okay, gotcha. For future reference, I guess I can't phrase it that way. But anyways, our next story comes from Krem.com. KREM2. That is the CBS affiliate in, I believe it's Spokane, Washington, if memory serves correctly.
Dave Show, are they the creme of the crop?
I do believe they are the creme.
Did the creme rise to the top?
The creme is rising to the occasion for this particular story, which reads, elderly men escape nursing home for heavy metal concert. Ew!
I'm banging my head already, Dave Show. Ow.
All right.
That hurt.
2 nursing home residents snuck out for a night of a lifetime. The story comes from Wacken, Germany. I already love that it's from a place called Wacken. That sounds so rock.
Yes.
Says here, 2 elderly men escaped their nursing home in northern Germany for a night of heavy metal, according to German news organization Deutsche Welle, or something close to that.
Right.
The men allegedly snuck out of their nursing home on Friday to attend Wacken Open Air, the world's largest heavy metal festival. The Gregg, you go every year, I know.
I attend Wacken Open Air as much as I can. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Says local police found the men at the festival around 3 a.m. That is metal. And told DW the men were, quote, disoriented and dazed. A night of good rockin' will do that to you.
By the way, Dave Show, did I mention that I love good bands? I
yes.
can really rock it out.
Woo! Did you know Mrs. Bale is actually in a band?
Really?
Yeah. Mrs. Bale, did you name the band? You don't have a name yet. Okay. Did you consider Peaches and Broth? No? Okay. I gave you that on a silver platter, Mrs. Bale. Several weeks ago. It's the funniest thing I've ever said on this show. And nobody cares.
That's a good name. That's $1 million idea, Dave Show.
That is a fine, fine name. Just waiting for somebody to come along and pluck it and stuff. It says here, wrapping the story, the men were reportedly reluctant to leave the fest, but were returned to the nursing home safely. The Wacken Open Air Music Fest attracts heavy metal heads from around the world. Heck yeah, it does. And there's a video here, the official trailer for Wacken Open Air 2018, and there's something on fire. Yeah!
Of course there is.
Darn tootin'.
You can't have the Wacken Open Air Festival without something on fire.
So much stuff
Wait,
on fire.
That the Don't tell me the old people caught on fire. The elderly people.
Not as far as we know.
Did their walkers catch on fire?
I don't know. I don't know what happened there, man. And it doesn't say how far away exactly the festival is from the nursing home. So I'm wondering if it's maybe close enough that they could kind of hear it. And they were like, you know what? We got to go rock out, man. This is just...
I take it this nursing home isn't what you would call a high security facility.
I don't think they have snipers and guard dogs, no.
Maybe we'll get a representative from the nursing home on our Facebook page, which is Gregg Dave Show. Gregg with 3 G's, of course, and then Dave and then Show, to come on and tell us how exactly did you let these people escape? But kudos to these men at the same time. You know, they want to have their night of their lifetime, and they probably did.
Very likely, yes. And you know the Gregg, I'm looking at our third story here. We were just talking about 2 individuals who escaped. I dare say the woman in our next story was unleashed.
Okay.
Yeah. Our next story comes from RadioVegas.rocks. I didn't even know you could have a website that ends with .rocks. But this one does.
Yes.
Fantastic.
You know why, Dave? Because .rocks.
.rocks. Should be RAWKS, but maybe they couldn't get that yet.
It should be.
Maybe you end with an X, whatever. Anyway, the story, a 96-year-old, I'm going to repeat that, 96-year-old Holocaust escapee fronts death metal band. That is the coolest thing I've ever said on this show.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
So cool you could say it again.
96-year-old Holocaust escapee fronts death metal band. Man, who needs caffeine? They just need to say that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Says here, Inge Ginsburg. I sincerely hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I-N-G-E. I believe is Inge.
Right.
Yes, we'll go with that. Inge Ginsburg is 96 years old, as you may have guessed. The night before World War II began, she escaped the Holocaust to a refugee camp in Switzerland. Once the war ended, she and her husband, Otto Coleman, moved to Hollywood and made a career writing songs for iconic artists such as Nat King Cole, Doris Day, and Dean Martin, among others. That's an impressive list.
Okay, so this woman has some street cred.
Absolutely. I mean, Nat King Cole and Doris Day, and who is a better mother than Dean Martin? Yes, good stuff. Says here, after leaving Hollywood, she began writing poetry. Not far off from writing songs, really.
Mm-hmm.
At age 93, she was introduced to metal and has been using heavy music as a new way to be heard. As she says, quote, in American and even European culture, old people are excluded from life. Nobody really cares what you have to say.
Oh, that's just sad.
That is sad.
That just makes me cry inside.
Yes. Do you want some Nutella? Will that make you feel better?
Sure.
Okay. Mrs. Bale will get you some Nutella.
In a ramekin, please, Mrs. Bale. I'll have that in a ramekin.
Yes, put some watermelon on it.
Yeah.
Yes. Nutella-covered watermelon. Anyway, at age 96, she's learned a new way to get people to care, or at least take notice. She performs with musicians Lucia Caruso and Pedro da Silva, who are also known as the Tritone Kings. The New York Times has run a short-form documentary on Ginsburg that briefly details her life. Quote, my concept of heaven and hell is that in the moment of death, you realize your life was full and good. That's heaven, she says in the video. And if you think, oh, I should have done this or that, I think that's hell.
Wow, this woman is really a profound thinker.
Indeed. That is, yeah. That is.
Join a death metal band. You'll live longer.
Yeah, apparently. I've heard all sorts of different things, the Gregg, for having a longer life. I've heard some people say, well, I drink a couple cups of coffee every day. I've heard people say I have a nice cigar. I've never heard somebody say, I front a death metal band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible. Well, you know what? I take that back. Keith Richards, I guess, kind of counts for that.
Okay.
Because Keith Richards is, I think he's about 210 years old, if I remember right.
Yeah.
He looks it anyway, whatever. But yeah, that's impressive. They do have a picture here for anybody curious. Again, we'll put this up on the Facebook page within the next couple days. And yeah, there's the lady standing there with a mic, screaming into the mic. And there are 3 people around her, one on guitar, one on drums, and one on a keyboard. And they kind of remind me of a group called Here Come the Mummies. Are anyone familiar with them?
Yeah.
And, but I guess it's not them. So. But yeah, there you go.
I kind of wonder what they sing about. Do they sing about different end of life issues? Like maybe some of their songs are like "My Teeth Are Falling Out," or let's see, I can't remember what I did last night. You know, I have to say though, I admire people who know how to make the most of their life.
Yeah.
Whatever age they are, just go out, people, from Dave Show and I to you, or maybe just from me to you, from the Gregg to you. Just go out and live a long life and be happy. And if happiness joins, it means you're joining a death metal band. More power to you.
And make sure if you do join a death metal band that you do a better job doing the death metal scream than I did at the beginning of the show, because I probably didn't do it that well. And I'm sure I will be hearing from a couple friends of mine who actually have done what some people call screamo music, and they know the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
I think you're not supposed to try to explode your vocal cords all over your throat and onto anybody in front of you.
Probably.
I guess that's bad.
Yeah. You know, live your best life. That's what I say.
And I say it's almost the end of the show.
By the way, if you're in a death metal band and want to create a theme song for the Gregg and Dave Show, send it to Dave and I over our Facebook page, and we will be sure to not listen to it.
There you go. I want to listen to this lady sing so bad right now.
I would like to hear some Inge Ginsburg a little bit myself. Is that her name? Inge
Ginsburg, yes.
Inge Ginsburg.
Good stuff.
That has been another episode. Live long and prosper, everybody.
Yeah, go listen to stuff on thefumedia.com or listen to Inge Ginsburg. Let's try to get her on the show.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
Get her on the show and find out if she has any dead birds.
Make a death metal band and sing songs about Nutella. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes, now get off our lawn. We're very old, and we have to practice our death metal music. You've been listening to The Gregg and Dave Show. The Gregg and Dave Show theme is Take a Chance by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.